Hi, welcome to SAP BW session 11. In this session, we're going to take a look at the extractor types available in ECC and how do you replicate in business warehouse. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the session. Right. So here, in SAP. So what we have is like the reason why SAP BW is one of the topmost data warehousing tool is because of every for every field or every domain in an industry, we have a object defined for them. Okay, so you don't have to really go ahead and create from the scratch. We can create or you can enhance the extractors or any objects available in the SAP. So to extract, there are different types of extractor available in SAP BW. Let's go ahead and see what are the different types, right? So the extractor types are basically is the data what you extract from ECC into business warehouse. Okay, they are divided into two different types. One is application specific, other one is a cross application. Okay, so when you come to application specific, it's again divided into two different types. One is a BW content extractor, other one is a custom generated extractor. So let's see what is a BW content extractor. Okay, for example, if you are working as a BW developer or architect in a company, and they ask you to extract data from financial data from ECC into business warehouse. So for financial, it's basically finance is basically it's a common object in every company, right? So most of the time, financial is depends on the AR, AP, okay, account receivable, account payable, leading ledgers, again line items. Those are all the common FI items available in any company. So SAP has made our life easier by creating a generic extractor with a common fields in the ECC. So it doesn't mean that you'll be using exactly the same data source. So there might be a enhancement needed based on the industry what you're working. But most of the time, you will be using the data source, and you could add in a few fields to addition to that, right? So like that, finance, controlling, HR, and sales and distribution, plant maintenance, most of them are called BW content extractors. They are defined by SAP itself. So you can just activate it and then enhance the data source if you need it, and then you replicate into business warehouse. Then you do this data modeling, right? So that's basically a BW content extractor. Okay. So all these extractors are having the data and then the field from the database table. So typically what happens is when somebody creates a document in SAP ECC, it's stored in the database table, and from the database table it's pulled into the extractor. Okay, and we activate this extractor. Okay, so outside of business warehouse content extractor, there is also something called customer generated extractor. In the sense of customer generated extractor, what is the meaning is basically COPA. So COPA, you might have heard about it. It's controlling and profitability analysis, right? So this is not a one application. It's basically a combination of multiple data from different sources. Could be from CO, could be from finance, could be from HR or SD. So when you are in a situation where you need to extract data from COPA, so it does not, because it's not coming from one application, we have to have a customer generated application, customer generated extractor. So you need to do some additional activities or work to bringing this data from ECC to the COPA. Okay, so this is basically with respect to application, we have two. One is content extractor, and one is customer generated extractor. Okay. Apart from this, there is something called cross application. So in cross application means here for this application specific, we have the data source already in the ECC. Which only thing is we have to tweak it here and there and bring it the data into the BW, right? But in the cross application, there is no data source existing in ECC. What we have to do is, based on the requirement, you need to create extractor by yourself. It's called generic extractor. Okay, we will read about this also down the line, right? So right now, I'm going to take an example of a BW content extractor, and we'll see what are the steps available in connecting ECC and BW, and what are the objects need to be activated for that. So the steps involved in end-to-end implementation from ECC to BW is to, for example, if they give you a requirement to create a report on FI, a line item or leading ledger, right? So what you need to find is find out the appropriate data source first. Then you need to figure out what are the related business warehouse objects in the BA content, right? And then third is the activate the data source, then replicate to business warehouse. The fourth one is the model the data flow. Fifth is the load the data. Okay. So now for this, to explain this scenario, I've taken a simple data flow or a simple data source for our session, right? So I'm going to load the data from data source 0FAGL10. So if you want to know more about this, what you can do is you can go to a place called scm.sap.com. Okay. If you are not able to find here, for example, just try to type here, okay, 0FIGL 10, right? And then just type it. You will get tons of data related to the particular data source. For example, this is called UGL reporting. Okay, if you click on this one, you can go ahead and read all the finance data source reporting, ERP financials. Every information is available here. If you are not able to find it from here, then only way we can do is to go to our Google, okay, and then type 0FIGL 10. Okay, so if it gives you, this is basically the information. Okay, this is there. So the requirement is to find out the create a reports on general ledger, balances, and leading ledger. So we need the technical data. This is the info data source. Data source, right? This is a data source for this one. Okay, for this data source, there will be info cubes attached to it. Okay, we need to find out the info cube for that and everything, right? So these are the tables in the extract structure now. So okay, so for me, I know this already. So the data source and then the data source object and the info cube is basically 0FIGL O10, and then the cube is 0FIGL C10. So we need to find out whether it's available in the in business warehouse modeling session. So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how do you activate this info cube, okay, in business warehouse. So you will go ahead and do the DSO, right? So let me write this on for us. So the data flow is basically 0FIGL 10, okay. The info cube is OFIGL 10, okay. DSO 0F5 GL 410. Okay, so I will do this, and you guys take this as an exercise to work on this other one. Okay, I will tell you how to do this one, right? The other one. Okay, so let's go ahead and log into the business warehouse, right? I'm in the business warehouse right now here. I say one. Okay, so this is not in business warehouse, right? So I'm just have to go to this. Okay, so it will bring up the application for data warehousing workbench modeling, right? So I will go ahead and see. Most probably it should be available, but even though it's available, we will try to. I will explain to you how to activate this. Okay, 0F5 GLC10. Okay, is it correct or no? 0F5 GLC10, right? 0F5 GLC10. Okay, so not available, right? Okay, so now what you have to do is, because it's not available in the modeling session, so you should go to the tab called BI content. Okay, modeling session. So here, if I go to the modeling session and then I go down, see, I already have this one. If you do not have this here, what you need to do is to select object, okay, then search for the object. Okay, 0 F5 GL C10. Okay, it should be available. 0 F5 C10. So okay, let's go again one more time. 0 F5 GL C10. Okay. So because the reason why it's not available is I already pulled in the data here, right? If I have not pulled in, for example, let's do another one. 0F5 GL C11. Okay, there is nothing like this, so that's why it's not going in. Okay, otherwise you will have this one. Okay, you will have this one active, in your business content for sure, right? Okay, so you have to just collect the object. Once you collect the object, right, what you have to do is to, right now we collected the object, okay, and then we need to activate this one. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop it to the okay, so drag and drop it, and then I have to find out what were my, I have explained this one in the previous class also. I'm doing this again. Grouping, here I'm only taking necessary objects, okay, and then installation, what is selected, nothing is selected, right? Collection mode, collect automatically. Display, let's display on a list base, okay, so that we know what are the different objects available here and which is installed. Okay, so for me, I'm not going to use this. Okay, so because most of the time it's already available in the system. Okay, again, info area will be, whenever you see green, it means that it's already there, right? Okay, again, info object, I don't need that. Okay, right? And then 15, I don't need that right now. Okay, the info cube is also active. Okay, the only thing is what I need to let you teach you guys how to do that. So we don't need other objects, right? So what you need to do is right click on it, to not install any below. Right click again, not install any below. Right click again, Do not install any below. Okay, right click again, do not install any below. So only thing what I'm going to install is this one. Okay, it's already installed anyway. I'm telling you what to do, right? So now what I'm going to do is to stimulate the installation first to see whether everything working fine or not. Okay, it says that okay, it's fine, it's working fine, right? Okay, and now once I stimulate it, then now I know everything is working fine. Then I will go ahead and install. Okay, I've installed it, right? So now we have done the installation and then activation here. We should go to the modeling and see. Most of the time, it will take some time to bring the object here. Okay, let's try to find this one. Okay, 0 F5 GL C10. Okay, it's not there, right? So the reason is still working on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out of this place and come back in. Okay, let's come back in again. BW 14, right? Welcome. 1, 2, 3. Okay, okay. So now again let's try with 0 F5. What I did, I was typing FL, so that's the reason it's not showing. So now see, it's already there, right? 0 F5 GL C10, right? Okay. So this data source, this info key was already there because we already activated, everything is done right now, right? So next step is to go back to the ECC and find out the corresponding data source. Okay, let's find that. So I'm in ECC right now. Let me go back to the main screen. Okay, from here RSA 5. Okay, step 1. Okay, activating data source in ECC. Step 1, RSA 5. Okay, I'm in RSA 5 now. It says installation of business content, right? And then F5 GL GL10, right? This is the data source what we need. Okay, I select this and activate data sources. Okay, it says successfully activated. To find out whether it's successfully activated, you need to go to another transaction called RSA 6. Okay. So step 2 is RSA 6. Okay. And we go here and see. GL. Okay, the data source is already there. Okay, so select it and then you see this is the extract structure. These things and all we will read. We will learn about it. Okay, eventually. Okay, so the data is there already. Okay, let's go back again, right? And then, so once you have activated it and then checked in post process, next is to find out whether the data is available. There is something called extractor checker, that is RSA 3. Okay. So what did I do? So whenever I go back to another screen, another transaction, I should do /n RSA 3. I did not give this last time. Okay. So third one is step 3 is RSA 3 extractor checker. Okay. So now I give the data source name, right? F5 F5 GL10. Okay, and then to the click on extraction. Okay. So what it is doing right now is the data source, whatever we extracted, right? So it's brought in almost 100,000 records. Okay. So if you want to see the records available, you can just view in a grid sense. Okay. So now the data is already extracted and it's available. Okay. So now we have done here, right? So now step 4 is to go to BW, replicate the data source. Okay. So I'm going to go back to BW and then I'll go to the place called data source. Okay. So in the data source, select the logical system. Okay. This is the only thing available here. Okay. So you select the data source here. See what you will do is you should go data source, select data source on this left hand side, then you go to the place called choose source system. Okay. But to choose the source system from where it is coming from. Right? Then choose the source system and then application component, financial accounting. Okay. Ledger. Right? You try to find for the data source. Okay, 0, FI, GL, 10. Right? So it's not available because nobody is activated and then nobody did the replication also. So you can do replication from either way. You can do right click, replicate data source, or right click, replicate data source, metadata, right? Right click, replicate metadata, also right click, replicate metadata. So in any part of the hierarchy you can do it, but if you start doing it from here, so many people would have been the activated data source for some other application also. They would not have replicated, so it will bring everything for us. It will take a lot of time. So right now, I'm going to do only replicate metadata and the general ledger. Okay. This is asking me something, right? So it's saying proof of replication, active content only, content version only, create data source. So these are all by default it's selected, right? So okay, just select. Okay. Okay here. Okay. It will take some time because it has to connect to the. Okay, it says that. See, even now there is many things are there, right? So I just don't want everything. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'll unselect everything and then I'll take only whatever I need, right? Okay. FIGL10. Okay. It says replication complete, right? Let me refresh this and then try to find where is that. So this is the one, right? Heading ledger balance, right? Okay. So now this is active and then this is not executable version. Alright. So what you have to do is you have to okay, now it says active, right? So once it's active, then you can see the data also. If you want to see the data here, what if you select this and then go to this place called manage PSA. It says so the data is already available, right? Okay. So here I'm just going to select only one of the data packet only. Okay. So it's you have all the data here, right? So here we should know something called with an interview question whether it's possible to load your file data directly to InfoCube. Okay. The answer is no, because F5 data source as well as code. Show you something here. Okay. Do place called the backslash also to then do this display. Okay, RSA2, okay, data source repository. Okay, click on display here, right? So extraction. If you see here, the delta process is basically after image. So I will explain this one later on, but the reason, because of this reason, because of the after image reason, so you cannot directly load data from FI into InfoCube. It should go always from data source to DSO to InfoCube. So in this scenario, what happens is the DSO will maintain before and reverse image. Okay. So this InfoCube for this data source it's only having after image only. Okay. Right. So I will recommend you to read this one, like Google it and find out what is before the image, reverse image, and after image. Okay, so you will get some idea about it. Okay, if you cannot understand, you can always email me. I will explain to that. But I would like you to go ahead and do this. So that's the reason when even though if you can directly load, but only thing is you will not get the changed records at all. So every time when you load directly from data source to the InfoCube. So the only way you should do is to load first the DSO, then the InfoCube. Okay. So now we take this as an exercise, right? So you go ahead and find the data source related for this, DSO related for this InfoCube, which I showed you already, 0 FIGL O10, and activate that, then load this data. Okay, the data whatever we have in the data source, right? So go ahead and load the steps already there available for you guys. Just go ahead and load it, and then you will find if there is any issue, then you will let me know. Okay. So I will wrap up this class for now, and then tomorrow's class, what I'm going to do is we will see another important topic called LO extraction. Okay, LO extraction is very important, and it will be asked in every interview you attend. Okay, right? Okay, so that's it for now. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.